That's the knowledge now. That's my main focus. I want knowledge to get passed down.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Because my bad, I wasn't ready for this either. I thought that was gonna go. So
That's okay. Me and my mother, we were talking about it yesterday about, voting. Because I'm like, I don't have to vote no more. I was like, I feel like my vote don't count.
Yeah.
She was like, why you feel like that? And I was like, because it's like, when, wherever you have to it's like the black people vote don't count. It's like they already have the elections to who they want to win.
Yes.
And I just feel like, they try to get us at the vote, but it's like it's not working. So it's like, what do you think you can do to make everybody get a vote? Because I'm in your generation. I graduated in 2015.
Yeah.
So what you think you can do to make our
That's a great question.
So
me and my friend, I make sure me and my friends get. My mama make sure we get out and vote. Like my brother just turned 18 last year. She went and got him from Huntsville so he could vote. He could have voted in school, but she wanted to make sure he voted. But it was just like stuff like that. We don't have people to motivate our generation like that. It's like we got to motivate each other, but it's like we can't do it because with our generation, it's like everybody got that attitude. It's like you can't tell me.
Crab in the barrel, and nobody. It can only be one. It can't be a multitude. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to answer your question, and I don't have to use the mic, bro.
No, you good.
but to answer your question though, relatability and honesty. And so you probably soon you'll get information where you're gonna go.
Yeah, I can see your campaign all over.
But so what you're saying right now is what I'm currently going through. They only promote it's an agenda based thing. So it's like you got to go to the agenda to get promoted. So most of the time we had great candidates that been running over the last decade or two. You know what I'm saying? But they don't get promoted enough for people to know to go and vote for them. They just put 2 people up at the top when it's like 8 people running. And so that's part of the problem. And like I said, my main thing that I do is be honest. Because I don't have all the answers. That's why they tell you about home ownership. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a real estate agent, so I can't tell you. But my main thing is connecting people. So I bring people in. I bring people with knowledge from every walk of life to where they can tell you, hey, this way you need to do the same thing. And it starts from the bottom too with neighborhood association. That's what really play a part in all this thing, but they don't teach us about it for a reason. So we won't know, hey, this is the one we need to vote for. Because a neighborhood association means they telling people, hey, this is the right one to vote for. And they all coming to agreement on it and saying this is what we're gonna do. But when people don't do that, they just go out and think of what they can do instead of working with the community. That's where the problem's come in. But the most I can do is be relatable to you and be honest with you and tell you what's going on. And as you can see, you said you follow me, so I'm always telling the truth of what's really going on. And that's what we really need to do. That's all I really have. I ain't got all $1 million so I can put my name everywhere, and I can just use my platform and go locally and it's
Cool. Well, Mr. Little Page, I got that right that time?
Yes, sir.
Cool. I just want to thank you again for coming out. And I just got one last question for you.
Yes,
and my last question is, what inspired you to actually join and want to actually run? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a big goal.
It's gonna take about 5 minutes, honestly. I don't mind, because this is really important to me. All right, so growing up in this city, history is a big part of this city. Like that's why I'm in the building that we're in now. And I love history, so I used to pay attention about like all kind of black history going on with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Maya Angelou, everybody. But then, what really inspired me, we got a president named Barack Obama when we was kids. So like y'all probably seen a lot of white presidents. That was like boom, this is our first president that we know. So that really inspired me. I'm like, man, he can do it, I can do it. Now, president like all the way up there, so I got to start. I want to start local because I want to be governor next.
Hey.
After I'm the mayor, because I want to change the laws in Alabama because we so behind. They have stuff in place to make sure we stay down, and that's why I'm starting with mayor. And people say, why mayor and not city council? Right now, if y'all don't know or not, it's a law that we got in Birmingham. It's called the Mayor City Council Act. So the mayor kind of have a little more power than the city council. So with me knowing me and knowing how much I speak out, when you in city council, it's a member, like you on board with 9 members. And so, say if I would have ran for district seats, with my district in Tennessee, in West End, knowing how I am, it's a voting system. They can vote against whatever I say. Like, if I want to do new bricks and new parks for the neighborhood, it's a voting system. So it's 9 people. They say, no, we don't like that. We don't. Oh, just because they don't like me, they'll not vote on it. And that's what currently goes on right now. Like if somebody say they want to do something they district that another person would like to do for theirs, they can't do it, they'll just vote against it. And so it's a lot of bickering back and forth. But with being the mayor, it's taking care of the whole city. Because the whole city of Birmingham needs help. Not just Ensley, College, everybody needs help at this point. And what made me want to run for mayor was Larry Langford. My grandma was good friends with Larry Langford. And he made a huge impact on my life. Like I was just telling you earlier, he came through doing streets, doing roads. He did my school, Preston K. Wade, Parker High School. He was just doing everything. He had EXO laptops in the classrooms. Remember that? Yep. You know, and he just, the green and white. And that really inspired me. So I said, I want to be the mayor one day. And to answer your question further, I was working at a job at high school called Harvest 7th Avenue South around the corner, right? Randall Wolfen came to my job. I always tell this story. He came to my job, and he had a lot of people, and there was a man with a suit on. I said, who are you? Because I asked a lot of questions. He said, my name is Randall Wolfen. I said, all right. He said, I'm the mayor of Birmingham. I said, no, you ain't. I said, nah, man. I said, we ain't build the mayor of Birmingham. He said, nah, just be him. No, like, you young. You can't be young and be the mayor of Birmingham. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a mayor young. I said, you got to be older. He was like, nah, you can be 18 years old and be a mayor. And I was like, what? You know, so and I started doing research, like in 11th grade all the way till I graduated. And like I said, that inspired me to say, this is something I always wanted to be. But then when I was able to see it in person, it was like, oh my God, I can do this. So the first chance I got in 2021, I was trying to run for mayor, but they changed the law in Birmingham. It went from 18 to 25. So I had to wait. So I was like, when 2025 come, I'm going to run for mayor. And so I was telling everybody in my neighborhood, I'm going to run for mayor, I'm going to run for mayor. They was like, Jeremy going to run for mayor? Because everything I said, I basically do it. And so I started working in the community like I always do. And focusing on mental health, teaching the kids about politics and voting and all this stuff. And fast forward to now, I jumped out and like knocking on doors, hey, my name's Jeremy Page, I'm running for mayor of Birmingham. They like, what in the world? And it just became a movement. Because now I got my generation saying, we're going to vote. We never voted in our life. So to answer your question, the people like our generation, like, hold on, we ain't never seen it. Because they never saw it before. They like, what in the world? He making history. He can be the youngest person ever doing it. So that's how I can get people engaged and involved. But that's why I want to run for mayor, because I said it, I saw it, I was able to shake somebody's hand, take a picture of him, and say, all right, if he can do it, I know I can do it. Because he told me the story where he grew up, and I was like, it's about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm going to go for it. But if I knew what I knew now, I probably would have prepared a little bit more, because it ain't just about optics and, you know, having a good time and going out and shaking hands, kissing babies. You got to deal with some evil things in politics. So you got to have a strong mind and a strong heart. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Little Page, and congratulations on your campaign. I wish you much success. And the main thing that I took from what you stated was you saw someone do it, yes. And when you saw it, it allowed you to be inspired to do it, right?
And that's what I want to do. Like in these communities, a lot of the children don't have role models. They don't have nothing to really look up to. Like, we don't have a LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Young G's or like just a big time anything for it. So if we can get more of that in the communities and help people come up, we can have a real estate, mortgage, doing mortgage. More little black girls gonna say, hey, I want to be a mortgage broker. I want to do this and I want to do that. So we just gotta have it visible. There's a lot of people who come up in this city, unfortunately, they come up and they leave. They go on and move to another city or something like that. And so people don't ever get a chance to see those role models.
And thank you again, and congratulations. And they vote on August 26th, correct?
26th.
I got you, man. Tap in.
From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay, so we're going to continue on with the seminar. I thank everyone for your patience. My name is Terrell. I am the owner of Prince.Tax. I've been in business for 10 years. I normally do about maybe like 300 people a year. That is the reason why I got the money to buy the real estate. And so my situation is a little different than most people. And the reason for that is because when I started, I knew that I didn't want to rent. I was like, I ain't finna rent. Because if I rent, I'm going to get in a lease, and I ain't going to be able to get out that lease. Yeah. And that's because once I get into something, I get, not complacent, but I get comfortable. You know, I'm comfortable with making this payment, so why would I strive harder to get into a better place when I already been in this place? And I see everybody else doing it, so why not do that too? So on my thing, with me, I like to do, if 99% of the world doing it, I'm going to do what the 1% doing. Okay? So I saw 99% of the world, they renting, they got their spot, they looking cool, they out there in the nice neighborhoods, but they paying $2,000, $3,000. Yeah. And they talking about, man, I can't go nowhere on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And I could go wherever I want to go. So what happened was, I was like, I'm going to not get a home. And I really took a rough road. Like, I was homeless. And the reason why I was homeless was because I was making some decisions that my folks didn't really agree with. And that's another part of it too. So a lot of times we got to admit and be accountable for our actions. And at that point in my life, I wasn't really being accountable. I just was trying to make a way and trying to make something shake. So what ended up happening was God ended up taking that drive and giving me a purpose. And once he gave me the purpose, it all started to flow. And that's the reason why I wanted to present this information to individuals, because when I got my home, I didn't get a closing down payment. I didn't get assistance on my down payment. I didn't know really what earnest money was. I didn't know what escrow was. I didn't know what equity was. I had no one that I could go talk to and be like, hey, you got a home? How did it really go? And the reason for that is just because, as Mr. Little Page was stating, that's not really discussed in our neighborhoods. And that's the problem. So that's why I was like, no, I'm going to become an agent. I passed the test on my first try. Thank you, God. And I was like, I'm going to get the people together. I joined NARAB. NARAB is an association for realtors and realtists. And it's an opportunity for you to be around individuals that are like you. You know what I'm saying? And when you in that real estate world, you'll want to be around somebody like you because it allows you to build that confidence, just like Mr. Little Page was just stating. So I joined NARAB. I ended up meeting Miss Smitherman. Miss Smitherman actually was the one that gave me the emails that allowed me to get Miss Renee Green here. Because I didn't know any of this. I didn't know it. I just was kind of moving with the flow. But my first property is a triplex. I have 2 units. I have a unit at the bottom. I got a unit with like it's like a whole nother back home, like a guest home, and then I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on the top part. So the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, I rented it out. So I'm not just telling you to do something that I ain't did myself. That's another thing too. We like to get advice from people that ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's real hard to ask somebody how to make $1 million and ain't never made $1 million. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard. Trust me. I've been asking. So I'm Terrell, and today you're going to be taking your journey to you becoming a homeowner. And this is a guide for first-time home buyers and investors. And the reason why I put the investor part in there is because your home is meant for you to grow equity. And I'm going to explain that in this presentation. So thank y'all. Y'all ready? Let's learn. Here we go. So first thing first, understanding the path to real estate success. I am Terrell Valerie. I'm the owner of Prince.Tax. I've been in business 10 years. I'm a licensed real estate agent. I don't have my brokerage just yet, but I'm definitely licensed and I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool. I also own rental properties. And I'm really balling. Like, I ain't got no complaints. I'm not doing this so y'all can pay my check or feed my pockets. It has nothing to do with none of that. I'm already good. The reason why I'm doing this is because I have a little girl. She most likely gonna go to high school in Birmingham. And the only way I saw people to improve their mindset for Birmingham is they gotta become a homeowner like I did. And that made me want to make my community better. And that's what this is about. So I appreciate y'all. So introduction to speakers. We're gonna have Miss Renee Green Jones, a mortgage loan originator from SYNOVUS Bank. She at 800 Shades Creek Parkway. We also gonna have Miss Kimberly Ruff. She's with a licensed insurance broker with Ruff Legacy and Associates. And then we're gonna have Mr. L.D. Barnes to bring it all home. And he's a new home sales consultant with Dr. Horton, with D.R. Horton, my bad. He is not a doctor. He is not a doctor. And today, what we will cover, I'm so excited to bring this to y'all because I just like, when you doing a lot of things, it'd be so hard to get to the main thing, you know what I'm saying? So I was really worked hard on this, and I do hope the presentation allows y'all to get a better understanding so that when you are on that process, you have a better idea. Because if you got a better idea of where you want to go, you can accomplish it. That's what it's all about. An idea is what we all are here from. It all started with an idea. I had the idea to get a home, and then boom, God made it happen. So what we'll cover today, first-time home buyers, the basic. I ain't got to go into too much detail because I have a mortgage person that's going to speak about mortgages, okay? And she's the best. They got like 15 different programs from Fannie Mac to Freddie Mac to somebody named Mac and Cheese or something like that. She got all the deets. And then for the new homes, I ain't got to talk about that. Want to tell you why? Because I got Mr. L.D. Barnes in the building, and he is going to assure you, when I tell you about the incentives that they have for new homes, you can even get like a refrigerator and a washer and dryer with the little auto smart home. It's so cool. It's so crazy, right? Next, I wish I would have known when I got my home that I could get a new home because I'm rich, you know what I'm saying? I wanted that. Okay, here we go. So, realtor versus do-it-yourself. So, everybody always talk about saving money. Oh, they go to food. Oh, my God. I told y'all I was going to feed y'all. Hey, what's happening?
How are you?
I am blessed. And I'm going to give you an extra dub if you just lay it out on the table for me and take a business card. And I love it. You know what I'm saying? Everything paid for, but I love you. You want to sit down at the home bottom?
I'm at work right now.
You ain't got to. You ain't got to be there. You can sit down. Get an hour in. I'm just playing with you. But nah, no, I'm sorry it's wet. There's a splash water adventure. So sorry. Yeah, it's a little wet money, but it's good money. It's good. And I do file taxes. And you also have Miss Kimberly Ruff. She has her own insurance brokerage. And then you got Miss Renee Green Jones. She's a mortgage loan originator. And then you got Mr. L.D. Barnes, the one and only with D.R. Horton of New Home Sales. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you got, don't forget, August 26th, Mr. Jeremy Littlepage is running for mayor. He's running for mayor. Make sure y'all introduce each other. And hopefully, you go vote for my man. August 26th. Oh, we got food. I'm excited. Y'all go get some food. Don't stress about me. It's going to make y'all love me more. All right.
Y'all have a good day.
You too. Thank you. So, realtor versus doing yourself, making the right choice, earnest money, do's and don'ts, home ownership versus renting in 2025, equity versus renting, how to actually build wealth. And then I'm also going to speak about achieving your actual real estate goals. It won't be much longer, 10 minutes at the most. I'm a real fast talker. So if y'all got questions, guess what you get to do? Call me. You know what I'm saying? And then guess what you get to do? Set up an appointment. And what you get to do, you can text me. You can send me an email. It's so many ways to follow up. I mean, it's amazing, right? You love technology. So, first-time home buyers, the basics. Defining your goals. And if you want this copy of the presentation or any presentation that's presented today, I can always email it to you. I thank you again, okay? So, first-time home buyers, the basic. Defining your goals. The real reason why you want a home is going to build stability, and it allows you to create a root. A root is the beginning of a tree, okay? And you can't have a tree of life if you ain't got no roots to it. You ever see them trees that be like, oh my God, I'm flying. I'm just all over the place. That's because they ain't rooted. And a home allows you to root yourself. Next thing, a home is going to allow you to build equity, which is very important because that's the reason why so many Americans now actually have an upper hand on other Americans. It's because of their home. And I explain that. Next, you got community involvement. So when you get your own home, you be like, man, you know what? I don't really like how the neighborhood look no more. I need them to come pick up this trash. You think about all this stuff, you be like, man, I'm so tired of seeing them cars on the side of that road. I'm so tired of them people fixing on them cars, and they just been fixing on them cars. You know what I'm saying? Them cars just been there. They ain't going nowhere. What they doing with these cars? So with that type of thing, you just kind of start to be like, man, this is where I live, and nobody else ain't going to come to where I live and fix it for me. It kind of puts you in that mind state. And the pros is, there's a tax benefit too. I do taxes. Mortgage interest, that is one of the biggest tax deductions that you can receive when you get your home. Because you are going to pay more interest as you buy a home. And that's something that the mortgage people would definitely explain. Potential appreciation. What that means is the equity. So pretty much, I'm going to give y'all the greatest example. Y'all want to know how much I pay for my home? Y'all want to know?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I pay $7.25. Y'all want to know my interest rate? It's so cool. Y'all ready? I got a 5.1%. You know what people got right now? 7, 9. Some people got a 15, depending on that credit score. I fixed that too, by the way. And that's very important. The interest rate, all that matters, okay? And then the next thing that's really cool about my home is, and this is for the real estate investors, is I understood what my ARV was. And that's the after repair value. So I got my home for $700, but now after repair value, I could go to SYNOVUS and I could refinance my home. I could even get a lower interest rate sometimes. I'm gonna say sometimes. And I could even put myself in a greater position. So the real reason for my home is if my little girl needs to go to college, guess where I get to go get the money from? My home. If my mom needs a surgery for her knees, for her back, for her arms, if I need a surgery, guess where I get to go get the money from? My home. I don't have to actually go to the bank to pull it out because it's already there. And that is what equity is. That's the benefit of it. You do need to have a job too and not be working. You can't just pull money and then expect somebody not to pay it back. Just gonna put that out there. So the only real cons to the homeowner is you do have maintenance. And by maintenance, I did have to repair a plumber. That cost me $2,500, right? But guess what that did for me though? When I repaired my plumbing, that cost $2,500. My property value went up. Okay, and then when I finished my basement and I put that laminated floor down, y'all ain't seen it, but if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's nice now. I got that floor down, I got the paint on it, and my home value at least went up at least like at $15,000. Okay, and that's all. And when it go up, that don't mean I gotta pay for that. I'm not paying for the more that it went up. I still pay my $720. I just want y'all to know that. And I told y'all how big my house is, right? This is so big. I got like a 2-door garage and everything. I want everybody to have all that. So it's really cool. I just want you to know that. I love being a homeowner. Alright. So the home buying process, the overview. In all reality, it is a little bit of a process. It's not something where you could just wake up and be like, hey, I want to get this home. This is what I want. Most of the time, it do take about 30 days to 45 days for the underwriter or the mortgage company to actually process you after you pick your home, okay? So, step 1, financial preparation. It might be spelled right. If it's spelled wrong, judge the person that did it. Okay, bet. Thank you, Ms. Paulette. One team, one goal. All right, so credit score check. Credit score. One thing I want you all to know is please don't allow that to be the reason why you don't pursue a home, okay? Because one thing about credit is it's about points. So if you got low and you ain't got no points, guess what you get to get? All the points. It's just like Mario. You get to get all the coins. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you got to view it. And there's a bunch of free things that you can do to actually improve your score without having to actually go pay somebody $3,000, $2,500, nothing like that. And so I fix credit, which is why I have the score to get the home. But I was in a position where I had the score, but I had a debt to income ratio, and that's important too. And that's all going to be things that you'll learn about with your mortgage person and with your real estate. You know, they kind of help you through that process. So the main thing that I really like to explain to people is getting pre-approved is the most important step. Okay? Because it means you're serious. It means that you actually have the opportunity to get this home. Okay? And the pre-approval don't mean that they gave you the money just yet. That's mean pre-approved. That's why they got the pre-part. I just want to mention that. But what it does allow you to do in the real estate world is when you meet a realtor like myself, because that's what I am licensed. Hey. So when you meet somebody like myself and you bring a pre-approved letter, it tells me that you're serious and you're ready to buy. When you don't have that yet, I kind of think that you ain't ready yet. And I got to look at you like, huh? And that's how I'm going to look. That's exactly how I'm going to look. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause. I'm like, okay, let's think about it. So next step is finding a home. So finding a home, that's defined on your needs and wants. You go through that with your real estate agent, or you can do it yourself. I don't recommend just using Zillow though. And you learn that as a real estate agent, that Zillow gets it last. Realtor.com got it last. And so what last means is other people saw it before you did. And if they saw it before you did, what they get to do? They get to buy it before you do. You know what I'm saying? So always get with a realtor because we get to see it first. We even get to see something that's called coming soon, but we get to see it before it's 15 days available. It's so awesome. And if I'm saying anything wrong, real estate people, y'all could catch me on the gram and just let me know. It's only my second month, by the way. Love it. All right, the next step is going to be making an offer. I definitely recommend you get with an agent on this part, because in that offer is also going to be contingencies that allow you to protect yourself if you don't get financing. So that way you don't lose your earnest money. And also contingencies if the house needs repairs. Say you get a resale home and you don't get a new home like DR, Horton. Just going to put that out there. But you don't get the new home, but you get the resale. Sometimes the repairs you could put in there, hey, you need to fix this before I get this house. Now, if you can't fix this, then you got to give me concessions, which is where the seller will pay money for you to get their home because they're about to get a big old lump sum. It's really cool. It's so crazy. And all this you don't learn until you get in it. So by doing this now, it allows you to prepare yourself. And that's what it's all about, preparation. Thank y'all for y'all patience. And then due diligence. So you got the home, you put in the offer, they agree, you agree. So you got to do the home inspection, the appraisal. The home inspection is normally between like $300 to $1,000 depending on what you get inspected. You get the septic tank. I always recommend the septic tank, the roof, and everything. Whoever you hire, you be like, hey, go get it, look at it, look. And they're going to send you this long PDF. It's going to have everything in their grandma in it about that house. It's going to tell you if some crack on the wall wasn't correctly inputted right. It's going to tell you if the lines in the home ain't aligned correctly. It's going to go through the whole detail for you. And then you get to make your decision if you want to keep this, which is what I had to do. Okay? So I saw the big long sheet. I was like, dang, that's a lot of stuff. But it's $720, Terrell. You know what I'm saying? $720. That's a lot of stuff you got to fix. But then I also knew that once I fixed it, I'm going to now have a home that's worth $300K. And I'm only paying for a home that's worth $80K. Don't that sound awesome? I promise you can't beat it. And then you put a rental in it? Oh, my Lord. Get all the money. And that's what I love. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And then the last part, getting them keys. So if you are a first-time home buyer, I can't wait to help you. I just want you to know that because it was so exciting. I remember I had my baby. She had on polo. I had on my polo. We was in there. We had the big old key. I was like, I got the key. So that's the main part, closing. It can be a little annoying when you're buying a home and you're going through the process. So don't allow the ups and downs to waver you on your dream, okay? Never quit on yourself as you take on any endeavor, okay? Because you're not always going to have somebody like Terrell. But, hey, girl, you got this. Hey, man, you got it now. Don't let that get you down. But when you do get me, you got me. All right, so the value of a real estate agent, it's really, most importantly, market expertise. You get access to the listings, as I was saying, which is the MLS, which pulls to Zillow, Realtor, things like that. Negotiation skills. Instead of you doing it, guess what you get to get? Me. And if you got me talking for you, already want to buy. You know what I'm saying? So contractual knowledge. I love the fact that I did go learn it because it allowed me to be better with contingencies and better dealing with what my client may get on later. And it's all about what's next. I'm just here to get you to that next step. Like you could be past credit, but what's the next step? That's that's the most important thing with your realtor. Because you already got a home that you want to get. You be like, man, I've been looking at this home, Terrell. I just want to get this one. And I'll be like, I don't know if you approve. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to see. We're going to make it happen. Because we're going to go to Miss Green and she's going to do it for us. So here we go. Going for sale by owner or doing it yourself. The pros, you potentially save you 5%. Which ain't a lot of money. I just want you to know that. So you saving yourself 5% could put you into a situation where you now owe $200 plus because your home didn't go up in value. Because you didn't know the area. Because you just bought a home based on someone telling you, hey, I think this might be a good neighborhood. But a real estate agent, if I tell you it's a good neighborhood, guess what you get to do? Hold me accountable. When I say hold me accountable, you get to be like, Terrell told me that this home was going to go up and this home went down and I got to go pay the fee. That's the reason why real estate agents have brokerage and brokers that protect us on the back end. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason for it. Trust me. And then the next thing, you do get full control over the communication. It's really awesome. It's really cool. But in the end, though, full control over 0% is what? What's full control over 0%? It's zero, right? Zero, right? So why not share You know, I always tell people, why would I want to own 100% of nothing? Why not partner and collaborate and work with others so that I can get a better understanding? That's called leverage, when you use their expertise so you get a win. That's the W. Remember that. All right, so if you do decide to do it yourself, I told you I worked hard on this. So if you do decide to do it yourself, time commitment, you got to go find the home, you looking at everything, and guess what else you're doing? You're going to work, you're taking care of maybe your kids, maybe your parents, and you probably got to go wash your clothes at some point. You know what I'm saying? And that is a task by itself, no lie. So next you got legal risk. You might not be so competent on the legal activities that are involved in making a home your home. And that alone can put you in a position where you're now undermined inside the deal. You know, pricing. You don't really know how it works. So by working with a real estate agent, most of the time, one like myself at least, who's an investor, we can go through the numbers with you. I actually have a 5-step process on picking a home where you do not have to actually go see it. It gives you a snapshot and it tells you what your projection will be and that type of thing. And that's what I'm using to get my rentals that I'm purchasing in 2 months. I love my life. I'm so serious. I hope y'all taking it in now. I'm telling you. So next, exposure. You not in the industry. You don't know what's going on. You ain't got Mr. Barnes on call. You ain't got Miss Green on call, and you may not have Miss Ruff on call. But guess what your real estate agent do? We got all that. That's the power of the person. If they can't pull for you resources, then please get away from them. And then negotiation disadvantage. Again, you may have not been used to contracts and dealing with legal paperwork, so that can get kind of nervous and make you make a hasty decision when if you just had a little more information. And then the last thing, when you do it yourself, guess what that means? The whole internet get to see who? You. And guess what the internet got? A bunch of weirdos, and ain't no telling what you gonna get. So with that being stated, you opening up your home to the whole world. When you get with an agent, guess what? If you have a studio in that bad boy, you got a very nice house, you don't really want everybody to get involved with it, guess what your agent could do for you? It's a way where we could list it, and it's called a private listing. So we still get to let people know, but we ain't letting people know. And that's protection on your end. That's how celebrities and a lot of big people sell their home. Just to let y'all know. And remember, I'm all about just information, okay? Just information. All right, so who would want to use this? If you're a buyer, please go get you a real estate agent. And the buyer is somebody buying a home. I just want y'all to know that. That's what buyer mean, okay? I'm buying a home. So if you're going to buy a home, go get you an agent. If you're a seller, it's two-sided. I recommend you get the agent because we sell the percentages, I don't know it exactly, but we sell at least 80% faster than anybody trying to do it themselves. And the reason is because we have the network and we have the exposure, and it's constantly out there being promoted. Whereas a seller, if they sell it themselves, guess what? Every month that house is on the market, guess what you're doing? You're paying for it. That was that part I was talking about earlier, that kind of the maintenance and things like that. But thank God, we almost done. All right, so what is earnest money? Earnest money is the deposit that you make to demonstrate good faith that you actually want to get this property. Most of the time, it can be maybe 1 to 5% of what that actual property costs. But the good part is earnest money will be used towards your actual closing. So even though you're putting this up front, you're like, hey, I think I want to get it. You still want to understand that it's really going to be used towards your closing. All right. And then another thing that's really important about earnest money that I like to mention is the do's and the don'ts. Okay. So go ask that question.
So with the earnest money, like you were saying, it goes towards
go to closing. So like.
So if you had like 2,500, they'll be 2,500
off the original final paperwork that you're going to get. So the mortgage person, whoever your mortgage lender is, they have a document that they have to give you within 3 days of you initially saying that you want to take this home. And it's due to the Fair Credit Act and the CLAC, something like that. They got a real name for it. But it's called Truth in Lending Act. And what it means is I have to tell you how much this really costs before you buy this. And if I don't tell you, then I've done something wrong. And so when I am selling you the home, I'm gonna give you like a template, like an estimation. But once we give them Ms. Jones, she's gonna give you the real number, and you're gonna be like, all right, Terrell, this is what we gotta do. And I'm going to be like, yup, that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. But yes, ma'am, you're 100% correct. And that money will go straight towards your home. You ain't got to put up an extra $2,500. And if you're working with me, I'm going to try to get you concessions. We're going to get you the clothing. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make it do it. Get you some grants. We're going to get everything. So, the do's and don'ts. So, I'm going to start with the don'ts because the don'ts kind of make more sense to me. All right, so don't assume you're going to automatically get your earnest money back if the deal falls through. It's at the very bottom, and that's very important because remember I told you if you don't have a certain contingency in your contract, if you don't get financing, guess what you lost? Your earnest money. Oh yeah, I was in front of it. My bad. Oh, don't let the seller hold the earnest money directly. So even if it's a buy-sell person, it's supposed to be held by the lawyer, title company, that type of thing. It should never be the real estate agent that hold it either. They're going to take it for you, but they're going to give it to their broker most of the time. And if they don't, then they're probably the broker themselves, something like that. But they should never be where their money is in their account for them. Your money in their account. It should never work like that. That ain't what we doing over here. And then don't make an earnest money deposit without a written purchase agreement. So do not be saying, oh, I'm going to get this home. He go to money, and you ain't even did no type of contract or nothing like that. You ain't never even spoke with your agent saying that, hey, we going to get this home, and I want you to write up the offer for me. Because you really don't get to present the offer until you give the earnest money. Because that's letting the seller know, okay, I'm going to take this off market. We finna go through negotiation, go through 45 days and things like that. Cool. Thank y'all again for your patience. All right, so the benefits. So I don't want to talk about renting. I don't want y'all to rent. I'm going to tell you why. Because a renter don't really care about where they be at. That's like if you rent your phone and your phone breaks, you be like, I don't care about the phone. It ain't my phone. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cares because you renting. So I want to talk about home ownership. So the benefit of home ownership is the advantages in 2025 is building equity and wealth. Every mortgage payment that you make, that's your money. When you make a rent payment, who money is that? That's their money. Okay? It don't go nowhere near you. It don't do nothing for you. Now, on my situation, my home ownership program that I'm going to set up, it will help you because I'm going to report the rent and you're going to go to rent reporters and that type of thing. But most landlords don't even set that up because that's additional that you as the consumer need to do. It costs like $35 a month and it will take 2 years of your rental history and give it to you as a trade line. And then now, instead of you being a person with no credit, you now have 2 years of positive credit history, which is bomb. That's exactly what they want. You know what I mean? Trust me, you get a home tomorrow. All right, so potential for appreciation. Real estate generally appreciates over time. And what that means is 3 things in the world never go down, okay? I don't care what's going on. Politics, mayor, councilman, I don't care what's popping. You want to know the 3 things? Stocks, real estate, and the GDP of America. That's why everybody want to sell in America. GDP is gross domestic product, which is all the products that come in the crib. You know what I'm saying? So like, the best way to explain that is if you owned a shop or a store and you was selling everything that come out your house is your GDP. So everything that come out of America creates our GDP. No matter if it come to America or go to China. All right, tax benefits. Mortgage interest deduction. I love this one. This one right here is going to save you so much money, y'all. So when you originally start a mortgage, you're on the back end. You're paying into the mortgage. The first 3 to 10 years, you ain't really paying no principal, okay? And it kind of seemed like, why am I paying on this? But it works out in your favor because every year that you paying on interest, you get to report it on your taxes. And who filed taxes? Me! Who do taxes? Oh my God! What? You do taxes too? That is crazy. So stability and control. You ain't got no landlord. I know you're tired of people telling you what you can and can't do, right? Right? That is cool. But don't let that be the reason why you don't let you get an HOA, which is a home organization, some organization association. Boom, there we go. Homeowners association. I love y'all. That teamwork make the dream work every time. So the reason why I say that is because remember I was talking about the cars being in front of the yard and everybody repairing stuff and you got trees, you got dirt everywhere, you got a whole bunch of trash that ain't supposed to be in front of your house, you know what I'm saying? I hate that when I get up in the morning. So HOA handles that. So don't be against your HOA fees all because you think that they finna take away your control. They actually set you up to where your property will always increase. That's why they doing what they doing. I just want to put that out there. And then most importantly, you got a community that you involved with. It's not just you no more. Alright, and then equity versus renting. This one is big right here. So what a lot of people really don't even know what equity is. It's a word that you hear all the time. And they be like, equity this, equity that. You got equity. Look at you. But in reality, renting versus building equity. So one, your rent payments do not go towards nothing that got to do with it, okay? Equity is the building of the mortgage payment over time. And then the compounding effect is the longer you own, the more significant the potential for equity growth. So me, myself, on my home, I pay $720 a month. With that being stated, my home is actually appraised at like $150, $170. I bought it for $80. So I have $150 minus $80. I have $70,000 in equity. And that's from 2 years. Okay? And so what really is going to be beautiful when councilmen and mayors get rid of the DEPOLITED homes in the land bank of Birmingham, when they really work together and get rid of the 22,000 homes that are stopping my thing from really increasing, it's gonna go up like another 30,000. So I'll have $180,000, $190,000 home that I'm only paid $80,000 for, and I think that's great equity. And that's what you want to look for if you have the opportunity. But then sometimes you can just go to a new home neighborhood and already start off there. You don't have to do what I did. But that's only if somebody exposes it to you. And lastly, how equity grows, principal payments, cool. We almost there. I got 4 more slides. Equity, it's your tool. It allows you to accumulate money. And this money ain't money that you even went to work for. I made $100K in profit on my taxes because of my home. I didn't go to work more, but to the bank, they're like, oh man, you got $100K more. Let's give them 300 more. That's how they work. If you get 100, they're going to give you 400 more. They give you 100, you're going to get 500 more. You know, that type of thing. And equity just allows you to be able to move how you want to move. And so the last thing that's really important is interest rates will potentially go higher. They are historically low right now due to COVID. But in reality, back in the jizzle, everything was really 17%, 15%. And the reason for that is because of consumer credit was first come about. And that came from the World War II people. And if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you will really get a real understanding of what's really going on around here. But interest rates, they ain't going nowhere, all right? They're going to go up most likely. They ain't really going to go down. But don't let something that you can't control stop you from doing what you can control, which is getting a home and start building equity. Next thing is going to be market dynamics, which is the local market conditions of key inventory. Inflation, real estate is normally a hedge against inflation. Inflation is the reason why your dollar is only worth 30 cents right now. You probably don't know that. But the reason why the Jordans that used to cost $155 now cost $180, $215 is inflation. The reason why when you go to the grocery store and you buy milk, and the milk that used to be $4 or $5 is now $7, inflation. That just means that the dollar value has gone down, but what will go up? Your home value most of the time when you work with a legit real estate agent who's not just trying to sell you anything. All right. Oh my God, we got a picture. Look at it. You can be one. All right. So like I told you, finna wrap it up. Setting smart real estate goals. I use the word SMART. SMART is an acronym for specific, which clearly defines what you want. So remember when I first started, I told you I was going to buy a 4 to 6, 8 unit property. I want to purchase it within 12 months, and I wanted to generate roughly about $7,000 in income. That's the smart part. The measurable part is how do you track it? That's you setting steps that you saw. So like the way I tracked myself was I knew my score was improving, but I couldn't really see it. It wasn't from Credit Karma or nothing like that. The reason why I actually was able to get a home was because I went and got a car. And when I got the car note is a revolving credit. And it established me to jump over I was at like a 580, 578, something like that. It kept everybody Fairway Credit kept telling me no. Everybody like, nah, you close, bro. You get the money, but we can't do nothing with you. I was just like, man, what do I do? So I ended up getting a car. I had a paid off car, but I had to get a car because my paid off car started working. My credit went up to like 100 something points, like that. Once that first payment went in, I was like, oh crap. So it really works, but it's about you paying on time. It don't work like that for everybody. Just want to put that out there. All right, and then achievable. You want your goals to be achievable, and what that means is, I'm the most unrealistic person of us all. I believe that I'm gonna sell 100 homes before the end of this year. If you know anybody in real estate, they're gonna look at me crazy. But the achievable part is I know what I'm doing now, which is building value and showing people why they should work with me. And from that, it's going to create the expectation of why I will get the 100 homes. I'm going to do it. Watch. I'm going to sell 100. I can't wait. Can't wait. And then relevant. Does this goal align with what you're trying to actually accomplish? So it's going to be times that as you're working on your mission and working on your next objective, other people are going to come up to you and be like, hey, I think you should do this. I think you should do this. Or you should do this. But you got to always remember where you started. You got to remember your specific goal that you gave yourself, so that when other people come to you with ideas, it doesn't throw you off. And then lastly, time bound. Set a real deadline. What I like to do is I always give myself a year to 6 months. And by giving myself that timeline, I get to stretch it out. I get to see like, oh, did I talk to this many people this month? Did I talk to this many people? And it's a numbers game. And I'm a salesperson, so that's just how I operate. But this is how I became who I was. I thought smart. Now your action plan, you thought I was going to just give y'all some stuff and not tell you how to actually use it. The main thing I want you to take from this is this big one right here. This one right here. This is the most important one of it right here. That's all cool. That's good. You got to find the trusted realtor. Hey, connect with a mortgage lender, Miss Green, there she go. And then consult a financial advisor, a tax professional. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. All right. Attend a workshop, read books. You're already doing that. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Talk to experienced homeowners and investors, literally in this room right now. And then financial foundation. Build an emergency fund. If your credit score is not where it need to be, come talk to me. Because I can give you the free tips. I don't have to charge you. I love what I do. I love helping people. And then reduce debt. That just means taking that part that's not helping you right now, and let's start paying on it. And that's what Ms. Ruff is going to show you in a few moments. She's going to show you how to use your life insurance to grow your money and actually pay your bills. It's really cool. I didn't even know that you could do that. You know, when she showed it to me, I'm like, I need you to talk to my people. I need you to holler at me. All right? But this is the most important part of anything that you do whenever it comes to life. Stay persistent and patient. The real estate journey takes time. And be prepared for this part right here. And that's with anything in life. Because life is about lifing. It's about living. So you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have moments where you're smiling. You're going to have moments where you be like, man, I got a dime in my pocket. But if you could always, what I like to do is, if you could be the same person you is when you got $1 billion in your pocket as you is when you got nothing in your pocket, watch how the world treats you. Watch how they treat you. Because they love me. I promise you they do. I'll be like, man, what's happening? Y'all, you'll never even know. You would never know, I promise. Oh, look, I got this for you too. Go for your dreams, because that's what this is. This is a dream. A lot of times, it's not always we have something in front of us that we could touch, feel, and things like that. So it's up in our mind. It's our imagination. And what I like to tell people, just like I had to tell myself, is you're on an island. Okay? You're on this island over here. You got a lake in the middle, and you got an island over here. The island over here is the dream. That's the home ownership. That's you with the good credit score. Everybody living life. Your kids going to the best colleges. Everybody great private school. Everything paid for. Amazing. But on the first side of the island, you ain't there yet. Okay? We got to acknowledge that part. And once you acknowledge that you ain't there where your dream at, you get to develop a plan that's going to build the bridge to connect you to the other island. I love it. I should be a motivational speaker. I just got to work on my timing. We're going to get it. We gonna get it. Hold on, let me go back. Alright. It's just last 2 slides. Oh, man. If you got 2 more slides, so sorry. They're important though. I want y'all to see them. But just know I work real hard on this. I appreciate y'all coming out. And then the next people, they so good at what they do, they don't even need slides. You know what I'm saying? They so cool. Like, I didn't even know that was possible. But the key takeaway that I want you to take from it is preparation is key. Financial readiness is paramount for both buyers and investors. So the main thing is get your finances together. You know what I'm saying? Don't be just talking about you want to do something and then you know that it ain't really possible. Because it's just going to make you mad. You're going to be angry all the time. Like, I want to do this, but I can't do it. Don't be like that. Knowledge is power. Understand the process. You've already done that. You did that today. And you're going to do that more as you continue to work on it. Leverage experts. You got us right here in front of you. And you already have people that you knew already that achieved it too. It's just on you to take away your pride to ask the question. Never be so prideful that you don't ask for help. And then, because that's why I'm here. Next thing, think long term. Real estate is about the long run. It's not about the quick flip. Okay? And so I had to learn that when I got my home that this is a long run. Next, you got goals drive success. Set clear, actionable goals. And then I got one more picture for y'all. And most importantly, I thank you all. That is my name. I'm Terrell Valerie. I'm the owner of Prince.tax. And the main reason I did this was I just wanted us to get information. Because it just seemed like we ain't get it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is, Prince Creative Group. I appreciate y'all. And then we're going to go on to Miss Green. Miss Green, do you have a PowerPoint or we just going to be talking back and forth? Boom. And we're doing good on time. And thank y'all so much. Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for giving me. Could you all hear me? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I do not take it lightly. I've been in mortgages for, like you said, over 20 years. Just to give you a little bit about my background, I am a licensed realtor, but I do not practice real estate. I sold real estate for 4.5 years. Then I was an account executive for AIG United Guarantee, where I actually sold PMI. Most people hated PMI and still just don't want to hear PMI, but if without PMI, a lot of people would not been able to actually purchase their own home, because normally you would have to put 20% down. If you did not have 20% down, then you could not purchase. So PMI allowed us to be able to purchase. Also, I want to, from there, then I was an account executive for a bank out of Houston, Texas, where I actually showed the programs, FHA, VA, conventional programs to banks and brokers. From there, I became a mortgage loan officer, which I've practiced, like I said, been doing mortgages for 20 years. So Mr. He explained, he kind of went over the whole process of like mortgages and being purchasing your home. So I want to just talk about the steps, the things that we will need when you're purchasing a home, and also, like you said, explain about being pre-approved versus pre-qualified. Because when you're actually being pre-qualified for a mortgage, that's when you're just calling into your mortgage loan officer's office and just giving them the information. And when I say information, just the steps that I like to take, I ask if you want to come into the office or if you want to do an application online. So I'm going to take a detailed application, which is going to have all your information on that application. And then the things that will have to be pre-qualified, we actually have to be pre-approved. We're going to have to actually get the documentations from all the information that was actually in the application, if that makes sense. So I'm going to need your W-2s. Most of the time it's going to be your driver's license. It's going to be your last 2-year W-2s, your 30-day pay stubs, your last 2-year tax returns, depending on the program, because some programs we do not have to have tax returns. We only have to have like W-2s. But if you are a self-employed person, we must have your 2-year W-2s. And the reason for that is with the self-employed people, it's going to be an average of your 2 years. I also want to explain to, some people ask if they have like a part-time job. If you have people that have a part-time job, but if you have not worked a part-time job for 2 years, we cannot use that income. So it's going to be your last 2 year income, and if it's a part-time job, you had to be worked a part-time job for 2 years, because that's a question that people ask a lot. And if you receive Social Security, or if you're receiving like child support for an individual, the child support has to be, you have to be able to show prove that it's going to be actually received for the following 3 years. If not, then if the child is 18 years old, then we cannot use that income. Okay, so the things that are, when you're purchasing a home, we're going to need your driver's license. We're going to need your last 2 year of employment. We also going to need if you're self-employed, it's going to be your 2 year tax returns. And it's going to be all schedules, because I know you talked about investors, so it's going to be the full tax returns. And then we also going to need your last 2 month bank statements. On the bank statements, if there are big deposits on your bank statements, if it's more than 50% of your income, we're going to have to source that. When I say source it, if you cannot show, because people have, like, when they put big deposit and they say, well, I had this money at home. If you had that money at home and it cannot be sourced, we have to bag that. You cannot use it as part of your assets. Okay. Mr. Valerie Key talked about the earnest money. Well, earnest money does shows good faith, but you have to make sure that you're able to source your earnest money. And when I said source your earnest money, where did it come from? So you want to make sure to get credit for your earnest money. You want to make sure that the earnest money is coming out of your checking or savings account. You cannot get earnest money from a credit card or anything. And like I said, earnest money shows good faith. But everything, when you're purchasing a home, it's very important that we have to source. Everything has to be sourced, okay? So again, I want to just go back over and take like the things that we have to have. Your W-2s, 30 days 30-day pay stubs, your driver's license, your last 2 month bank statements, all pages. If you're using your Social Security income, we must have your Social Security awards letter. You can use your, if you're using money from your 401k, we will actually have to have your most recent 401k statement, and also we need the terms and conditions. Okay? Yes, ma'am, you have a question?
Yes, I do. In regards to what you said about the sourcing.
Yes, ma'am.
Say, for instance, old school.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So if I get extra income or whatever, and as opposed to not putting it in the bank, I set it aside because I have a goal for a certain thing. Mm-hmm. Now for the sourcing, will it matter how long if I took that money and put it in the bank for a specific time for the purchasing of a home? Mm-hmm. Does it matter if it's a week or a month or 3 months, or how long will I have to have it in there in order to show that that's the source, and I want to use that for earnest minutes?
Okay, so when you said the extra income, where is this money coming? Is it just having money at home?
Yeah, it could be from a sale, if I sold something, if I'm doing whatever. Okay.
So if it's from a sale and then you go in and put that money, if you can show the documentation that, just say like if you sold a car, so if you had the bill of sale, and if you can show where the money with the bill of sale is going to show that you actually sold the car. So we are sourcing it like that. Now if it's just cash and you're just going to put the cash into your just putting the cash into. So remember I told you we need 2 month bank statements. So you want to put that money in before we have to get those 2 month bank statements, because it's already going to be, if you put it in before I receive the bank statements, it'll already be there. So you wouldn't have to sort, because it's not like it's going to show as a deposit. It's going to be already part of the money that you already have in the bank. Yes. So just remember, we always have to have 2 month bank statements, and that it has to be all pages. Anything that you give to your loan officer, if it's at 1 of 5 pages, that page could be a blank page. We still we must have all of them. No, you do not have to have a separate account. But just know that the underwriter is going to see. Now, the loan officers, we're not looking, because most people think that we're trying to be in your business. We're not. We just, because we're on your team. But you have to be careful what you show the underwriter, because the underwriter is going to see, they can see, you know how you have, like, people have them pay here, buy here.
Yeah.
So that, if that's showing on your bank statement, then they're gonna want to know, well, how long, when is this? Because that's really a liability.
After pay.
The after pay, yes. So we have to add that, because what we do is, so when I pull after I take a detailed application, I'm gonna pull your credit report, and so your credit report is gonna have all of your liabilities. And so basically, like he was explaining, your debt to income, the liability, and is based on what the monthly required payment that's on that credit report versus your debt, and we go by the gross payment. Yes. So if you have, and that's why I brought that.
So just stop like before I know I'm gonna have to give me advice.
Yes, because if not, now you can show, now there are things that you can pay. We can show that it can be paid at home. So once I pull your application, like pull your credit report, all of the information is gonna come, like all of your liabilities. But with your afterpay, we have to go in on the application and add that liability and however much that payment is. Okay, yeah, cause it does, you know, we have to keep missing.
So, is it a good idea to open, say for instance, just to open up an account and have money going to the account just for you to buy a home? Because like I gotta like keep the accounts. And I have like my Navy Federal account. There's like one account that I just don't touch. I just have my money going. Like I have a portion of my paycheck going over there, and I just don't touch. So, is it good for me to have that account and use that account to purchase a home, even though I don't like make purchases off of the card or anything?
So what we use, we're gonna be the account that's gonna show the money that you're gonna use for down payment, closing costs, and prepayments. Right. So even if you have, say, if you were to use that account and we're seeing that money is coming from one account to the other, you're gonna have to show both of the accounts where it's coming, because remember I was explaining about sourcing. And
Okay.
so,
And see, the way it don't come from an account, so it just like, okay, with my paycheck, I just have like my direct deposits. I just have them going to a different account. So when it show, it's just showing that like my employee just deposited the check.
Okay. Well then that'll be sourced right there, because it's showing exactly. Sourcing is basically, when I explain about the sourcing part of it, it's just like if you put, like I said, 50% or more of your income into your bank statement, your checking account and savings account, and it's on that account that you actually give this transfer. Yes, then we have to show where it's coming from. The earnest money, once you sign when you have made an offer, and then you write your earnest money, and the earnest money we have to show to give you credits once at the end. We have to show that earnest money has come out of your account. Now, when you wrote the contract, your earnest money, you might have wrote it on July the 15th. And so you're not, but the bank statement that I have, because the first thing I do is get my clients pre-approved. As soon as I take your application, I'm gonna run your credit, I'm gonna request all the documents, the W-2s, the pay stubs, the tax returns, and the bank statements. So those bank statements that I have, and if we have the flow, it's gonna be before you wrote that earnest money. So I have to get an updated bank statement to show, just say from July the 15th up until August the 1st. And if you have any activities that's on there that's been, then we have to go in and source, because we got to show that the earnest money cleared your account. We have to always have a copy of your earnest money, and then the front and back of the check and the bank statement to show that it cleared your account to give you credit. Did that kind of answer your question?
It did.
Okay. Some of the things, like if you have student loans, y'all know that now it's time to start back paying for the student loans. But if you do, make sure you're touching bases with the student loans, because they start reporting after 90 days. And so with some programs where we have, like our in-house program, our portfolio loan, if you're on like the income-based program, if we have the documentation, what we have to have the documentation showing whatever your payment could be, $5 or $0, then I can actually use that payment. Now with an FHA loan, we have to have either what the payment is, or you have to do 50% of the payment. The FHA, you cannot use a zero payment. Okay. So it's so like with different products. So it's so important to get pre-approved so we can know exactly what program and how much that you qualify for. So you want to be pre-approved before you even go start looking for a home. Even before you start looking at talking to a realtor, because a realtor want to make sure that whatever you qualify for, they can show you the home that you qualify for, because you might want to look at a $500,000 house, but you only qualify for $150,000. And then once you start looking at that $500,000, I'm just throwing a number out there, and you go only purchase $150,000, you are already feeling defeated, because that's a whole different. That's a whole different house. That's a whole different home. So it's very, very, very important to go ahead and, like I said, get pre-approved. I'm trying to think of things that I see.
Okay, so say for instance, like you back to when you was talking about the you said low income home assistance. Mm-hmm. So if you own Section 8 and stuff like that, how would you go about getting purchasing a home?
So you can purchase a home with Section 8, and I just got
it like 3 months ago.
Okay, so are you with Jefferson County, or are you with Birmingham? So Birmingham now, because we just got on the list. Birmingham, ask them, call your worker and ask about the FSS program. FSS is Family Self-Sufficient Program, and basically what it is, like the money that you part of your rent, like you have goals with Jefferson County. I can explain that, and I'm sure it's going to be the same. But they have goals, and once you reach your goals, I think they have like a 5-year plan, not to purchase the home, where you get so much money, is they put it in like an escrow account. Correct. And I've seen people that the minimum that they said was like $8,000 that they received. Some people receive more, but with the FSS program, you will still get pre-approved, and it's whatever program that you qualify for. But we can actually use the whatever amount that you receive from Section 8, we can use that towards your income. Yeah, so we can that's income. And so with that being said, like with people on Social Security, Section 8 will actually pay up to 30 years of their a portion of their mortgage. Yes. And then if you're not, yes,
that was big.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah.
Right now, but I said this would be
That was
worth it.
big.
Did you repeat that what you were saying about getting a house on Section 8?
Yeah, so Section 8 have a program. It's the FSS program. So ask your okay.
I know somebody who
I just learned something
Okay.
new.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so that's a question.
Yeah, I was gonna share it. I was just gonna So the program actually allow us as the loan officer or the bank, the income that you receive from your Section 8 voucher, you can use that. We can count that as part of your income. So when you work or you receive Social Security, we use whatever that income from your Social Security, but that voucher, like sometimes they pay $1,200 or $1,200 that can use. So we use that income, so that helps with the debt to income ratio, which allows you to qualify to purchase a home as well. Section 8 will actually pay up to 15 years of an individual, to purchase a home. And then if you're on like Social Security disability, they'll pay up to 30 years.
Correct.
Yeah. And again, and people say, well, what program? It's whatever program. So if you, like, I want to share one of our products that we have at SYNOVUS. It's 100% financing with no PMI. Remember I talked about PMI, which stands for private mortgage insurance. And that's basically, if you, normally you would have had to put 20% down to not have PMI, but it's 100% financing, no PMI. We have a $7,500 grant that you can use. Remember, it's 100% financing, so you don't have to put any money down. So that $7,500 is going to go towards your closing costs and prepaids. Prepaids are taxes and insurance. So, you know, your mortgages consist of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Okay. And then we have so we can use that particular program, whichever program that you qualify for, you can use be on a Section 8 program, and still you can purchase a home like anybody else. It's not a certain program that you have to be on because you're on Section 8. But
Correct.
you just know, if you're looking to purchase and you have Section 8, I would love an opportunity to speak with you.
Yeah.
Renee Green Jones with SYNOVUS Bank. We also have, we have so many different programs. It's a lot of different grants. Now, you know, everything is going to be, grant programs are going to be based on income, and they are based on total household income. Because I have people call and say, well, what's the credit score? It's not, grant programs are not based on credit score. It's based on income. Okay? But the credit scores, the lowest credit score that I can work with is going to be a 600 credit score. So from 600 above, I can, if you qualify, I can get you into a mortgage. I'm very sincere about what I do. I love what I do. And I just like an opportunity to work with you all. I want to make sure that I've gone over, I told you the things that we need.
Because
you
went over to Section 8. And if they decide to use that program, you also went over the
earnest money.
You went over the grant that y'all offer, which is big.
Sourcing, okay.
And you went over sourcing. Honestly, and main thing.
Talked about student loans, because people need to know that
too.
these student loans really will hurt your credit. So, and now you're starting to, now student loans
feel
are,
them.
yes.
You gonna feel it now.
And they don't report on the credit report until 90 days past due. So just make sure you call your student loan people and don't run from it. Just call and just see how you can get something set up, because it can stop you from being a homeowner. And everybody can be a homeowner. That's
Correct.
our goal, for everyone to actually purchase. When you talk about the renting versus actually purchasing, you cannot, like when you're renting, you're not going to gain any equity. You just basically you giving your money away.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very important. Anyone can be a homeowner.
And we here to make that happen. That's why they up here.
Yes.
So,
you have any questions?
overall, I just want to thank you for your professionalism and for your expertise, and then for dropping that gem on them, because I know the gem because I spoke with you already. But for you to share that and be willing to share that and be willing to take time out, we appreciate that. And I just want to tell you thank you. But if you have anything else for the crowd before I go to the next speaker? Because we doing good overall. You get like another 5 more minutes.
Okay. Because we had to.
Yeah, I got you. We good. We
okay.
good.
But no, I just
time.
want everybody to just make sure, don't listen to what everybody tell you, because people tell you that you cannot purchase. It's a hard process. It really isn't. The thing about it is, you want to be pre-approved, and like I said, I take a detailed application. When I get the application, I request the documentation. Now, if you do not give the information to your loan officer, that's when the issues come in, because we cannot submit your file to be pre-approved, to go through underwriting, if you do not give us the documents. You gotta have the documents. Nobody is asking for information that we do not need. We gotta have your 30-day pay stub. We must have your 2-month bank statements. We must have your W-2s. If you do not have your W-2s, you can always go on the IRS.gov and request your wage transcripts. You can always request your 1040 transcript, which is going to be your tax returns, because you have people that say, well, I don't know what my tax returns. Well, we cannot, it's not that someone is picking on you. These are the documentations that are required. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're turning your information at a timely matter. Usually underwriting take about 3 days, really max. We do have to pull your credit. You have people to call in and say, is it a soft pull or is it a hard pull? It's going to be a hard pull and we pull a tri-merge, which is going to be all 3 of the creditors, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And then it's the middle of your 3 scores. If it's 2 people on the application, it's going to be the lower of your two middle scores. I have questions where people say, could I use my husband's income and he's not be on the application? You cannot. The only income that you can use is the income that's actually of the person that's on the application.
That's gonna be on the mortgage.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm just trying to think of stuff that.
I think you're getting it all.
Nah,
Okay.
you hit them. You
Okay.
hit every night.
Everything you saying from my side.
Yeah.
You're getting everything.
Okay. And I explained about the student loans. I explained about the student loans, the student loan payments and different programs that you can use. Like we can use the income-based program. It could be a 0 payment. We have to have the documentation, but with FHA, and FHA you normally have to put 3.5% down. We have the step up program that allow people. It's a second mortgage for the down payment. It's so many different programs. There's so many options. So the best thing that I can say, and I'm
no, you good. You good.
Make sure that we take a detailed application. And one other thing, when you talked about rates, no one can lock your rate without a contract. You have to have, and the rate goes with that application, which is once you have a contract, we put the address in, then you can lock the rate. Rates change every single day. And you can lock it for 36 or 90 days. But people call and they say, what's the rate today? I can tell you what the rate is today, but that doesn't mean that that's the rate that you're going to get.
Correct.
So people get caught up in just hearing things and believing what people say. I don't know, I could just go on and on. But if you have any questions, I would love an opportunity. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
You good.
With the entire process, because I'll be 28 in August.
Okay.
And I got 2 kids, and I said I want to have me a house for me and my kids by the time I'm 30, which would be So with everything, how long is the process?
You can. I actually literally just closed the house and closed one in 2 weeks. Now that is not typical, in that the reason why we had an appraisal waiver, because when you purchase your home, you want to make sure that you have your home inspection. Your home inspection is for your own protection. After your home inspection, if you worked out, if anything came on that inspection, then that's when you want to pay. You want to get your appraisal, because your appraisal, you have to pay for your appraisal once it's ordered, and it's money that you cannot get back.
Correct.
Your earnest money is a period of time when your earnest money that you cannot get back. But the process normally takes about 30 days if you just go ahead and have your home inspection. If everything is in order, it's going to be, and it should be a smooth process, because you're already going to be approved. So I would say 30 days.
And back what she was saying about getting those documents on time, that's a key piece of the puzzle. Like if she calls you and says she needs those bank statements,
Please get it to her.
and you wait 4 days, that's 4 days added to what it's going to take to get this house closed. So she needs those bank statements. Let's go ahead and get that. If she need that WT, let's go ahead and get it. And she'll knock it out.
Yeah, because see, I'm one of them people. You tell me you need, I'm gonna get it for you. I'm gonna give it to you.
Look, and I'm gonna tell it too. I called the realtor and I'm like, look, because and I do because the realtors get upset with the mortgage people when they, because even though it might say they want the closing date is on the 15th, but we hadn't ordered the appraisal on the 7th. They still wanted to close on the 15th. So I just try to be very, very transparent and say, listen, Miss Green is not. She's not doing right. We are not going to make our close date, and I understand that you want to close, but I need you to. We need to make this happen.
Yeah, and the reason I had X is because my aunt and her husband, they just went through buying a home, and like it was like she kept her date. It just kept being pushed back. Like I don't know why, because I wasn't. You know, that's their business. But I was just. I just wanted to know like. You know, how long did it actually take? I don't think it took up that long. Yeah, that's all I was.
And it probably was like stuff she had to fix on her credit and like,
Yeah,
that's what happened to me. Like when I was trying to get my first house, it took me through a ringer because the underwriter, they waited towards the end to find something to pick with and like said I need to go back and fix this and do that and get that in order. Yeah.
And then I was one thing that what I wanted to say, you shouldn't really have, because once they take that's why it's so important to get pre-approved. We don't have to re-pull your credit depending on the program. Now, if it's a portfolio in-house program, the credit report lasts for 90 days. But if it's like a FHA conventional VA product, it's gonna that credit report we can use it for 120 days. Now. We can see if you were to open up new debt prior to. So I tell people, do not open up any new. Don't do anything different before you purchase your home.
Yeah.
So that's what you did. You
open up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Tulsa, that's something. You all do a training. Teaching these, for those who are pursuing to be first-time homeowners.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's one thing I was looking, and I taught this as well. I was looking at Princess slides, and it talked about paying your debt and saving. And so we failed to realize that you really need to take care of those debts before you start even pursuing that and learn how to save, even if it's $5 a week or $20 a month or something. Starting there,
right,
and learning to live below your means. We spend money. I'm saying us people. We spend money so much on things. Closets full. We can open up a whole shoe store. We can do all these things, but we still. And the crazy thing about our spending, we tend to look at flashy stuff, but it's poor quality. So I think if we shop with good quality, and look at, what it's made of and look how it's made, that's something that will last a long time. But we'll go to see the trends and we buy something that's first wash and starts unraveling and it shrinks and all the see, there's just things that we got to learn. That's why I was just wondering.
So I have in my booklet that I'm going to give you all, I kind of just, because we were kind of short on time, I wanted it. One thing I do talk about is debt and like reviewing your like 3-month bank statement, and I also think about so you do want to make sure you come up with your budget and think about other expenses other than like that's outside. So that is very important. It's things that yes. And then if you have daycare, if you have like child care expenses, you have to, because we don't count that that's not part of our liabilities, but that's part of yours that you're going to have to pay. So that's one of the things I talk about in here is like understanding your debt. So I'm just
I'm telling you, that's the big part, man. Because when I started, I was like, income ratio, you gotta get some of that down. I went and got some else, and they was like, no, you can't.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I was like, 20 or something. So yeah, I ain't know.
spending more
But-
than
That's
what
what
you
the problem,
make, and
Hey, and you know when he was talking about the repairs, I always tell people to make sure that you keep your home warranty.
Okay.
So the home warranty, even though you're gonna have to pay like that service,
fee.
the service fee, which is like I have American